You're live.
We are live.
Good morning.
What's going on, Jennifer
Not,
Lacey?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, just here slacking off. I wonder if anybody is out there in the omniverse.
We've had a couple people give a couple comments out there.
Right? So who do we got? We got Aaron Gibson.
Yes.
Said,
Good morning, Aaron.
we were just talking with our backstage folks about the weather. So Aaron's up in Canada.
Oof.
So his cold is like very different than our cold.
Yes.
Aaron says, "Good morning, Jennifer, Lacey, and Jesse."
Good morning. Aaron's been on fire. He has been blowing stuff up on social media. Like he's been like rattling tons of posts off.
Yes, he has, man. He's killing it. Love it. It's showtime, baby. And then we got DJ Hootie Hoots. Says, "Good cold morning, family." Mr. Jim says, "Good morning, y'all. Good morning, people. How are y'all?" So, I just got to say this like right now, y'all, please. And I want to wait till more people kind of get on. But I'm very sensitive and fragile this morning. I'm recovering or kind of nursing a cold or something. So I'm going to need y'all to help me protect me from Jennifer beating up on me. Because I ain't got a whole lot of juice, and I'm kind of anticipating her.
Oh my gosh, for real?
Of my weakened state. So please, people, help me.
You can't play off of that. And you know what? You're going to cough more because every time I say something, because you know you're wrong, I need y'all to ask questions in the chat that I can use and ask Jesse. That way it's not on me, so he can't come back later. Be like, I was not being nice.
That's what you're saying now. But she was like totally scheming before. It's like, what was the word, Adam? She was gonna exploit my weakened state. Look at that, Adam. You know what? I got something for you.
Oh gosh.
Leslie says, "Hello, Jennifer and Jesse, calling in from NYC. Of course, we got faithful buddy Brumley. Oh, did you give Buddy his gift?
Did I get what?
Give Buddy his gift.
I haven't because I haven't seen him.
Okay, so you still got it. Good. Buddy, yes. Jen's got a gift for you.
Yes.
It's awesomest. And we got Justin, who just came out on the Lean Builder podcast.
Yes, I was going to say, we need to give him some love. He's got an amazing podcast out there.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but I will. I will click. Right, Adam? And then we got the Chief Marketeer. So DJ Hootie Hoots and Steve Chief Marketeer Martin have something cooked up for y'all at about the top of the hour. We don't know what it is, but they're taking over full control. So they're bringing something. I'm not sure what it is they're bringing, but come on with it, baby. Bruce says, "Merry Christmas. God bless us all and everyone. 100%. Oh, man. Aaron says the Gremlins. He ain't got video on his end. So, yeah, that's happened before. If you're on the LinkedIn and it's acting silly, head on over to the YouTube. It should usually almost always works on the YouTube. James Gable. So James Gable's in Colorado, and Amy Olmedo, No BS Tribe member, is like stuck in Denver right now. Because of the flight cancellations and whatever. And I don't think it was her plan to be in Denver over Christmas. So if you can reach out to Amy Olmedo and you're in the Denver area, I'm sure she'd appreciate some Christmas cheer, and it will qualify as a no BS holiday gathering. What do you think about that?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be like the coolest?
Like, and by the way, we just hung out over Christmas.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Jen?
Well, for two things. One, if this is your first time and you're out there and you're listening, but you're not commenting yet, that's okay. But we would like for you, if you do nothing else, to put a blue heart in the chat so we know it's your first time, because we want to give you some love and make sure our tribe members support you and things like that. So if it's your first time, drop a blue heart. And then I think we've had a couple. So if you're having video issues, go to YouTube. Seems like we have a couple people that are having to go to YouTube. And today we are talking about bounce off buddies. And so I know it's like, what does that mean? And the conversation started last time we did a live stream. Amy Campbell, who is, not feeling so well this morning, so hopefully she feels better, threw that term out in the comments as we were talking about self-imposed expectations. And she said, well, I have a bounce off buddy, and that person is a person that I can go to when I'm not sure I'm in the right space. And then Jesse and I collaborated and planned and strategized on what we needed to do today. And that one kind of came to the surface. And so we thought that's a great conversation for our tribe on who's your bounce off buddy, or do you have them, or what do you go to them for and stuff like that. So that's what we're talking about today.
Boom. And honestly, the reason I said, hey, we should, Jen, that's a great idea, is because I didn't think you would be able to assault me on this topic.
Oh, I will. I can.
I know. I don't think I'm safe, regardless of what.
No, you're not safe. I'm going to exploit everything today.
So Buddy gave us an update on Amy Olmedo. She was able to get out last night in 725. So awesome. Buddy, awesome. Thanks for keeping track and checking in on our people and letting us know I missed somebody. Oh, look at this. Felipe is saying -2 degrees in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were doing a family trip. I remember I talked to him last week, and they were about to make the trek to Chicago.
Yeah, and Mr. Bradley is like tropical 42 degrees in Vegas.
Welcome back, Bradley. I know his first time was a couple weeks ago. So
he came in for real.
Yes, on fire.
We also got Cindy Becerra coming in from Houston with the chili face, saying Merry Christmas. And then we got Bruce calling me out. He says, I got a chest cold. That's why we wear shirts. The fishnet hoodie, man, just wasn't enough.
Did you do a hug that had no shirt on? That's probably why you're sick.
Oh, I got a whole library of them. Y'all just wait. They could be coming out. I'm joking. I don't have a whole library. It didn't even occur to me that it was like a topless hug until I had posted it. And I was like, oh, wow. That's I didn't even think about it until afterwards. So,
well, just so you know, before I clicked it, that was the first thing I saw. It was like, where's his freaking shirt?
I still don't understand why that's even a thing for you, but that's okay.
I need him to listen to the words and not focus so much on all of that.
Exactly. It's the message. So Bruce says, in my case, it's bounce off buddies, plural. First, of course, is Julie, and second is Big G. Nice. So Bruce is just like, all right, let's go. Let's
Let's go into the topic.
All right. So
I'm going to start because I know you that way it's easy for you to just receive right now. So, so bounce off buddies. And we talked about your buddy. I think Amy talked about this is her buddy, but we all have a lot of things going on in our lives. And so I think, Jesse, you and I talked that sometimes it's not just I have this buddy. It's kind of like the circumstances and what's going on in life. Maybe that's the person that you call. And so, Jesse, this week you're kind of not feeling very good. And so you're kind of recovering, and you are not one to ask a lot of times for help, if ever. And so how did you have to kind of get out of that comfort zone this week and maybe depend or reach out or lean on some people that made you, it's not your normal MO?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say had to, because I know how to just suffer. Mm-hmm. But I did decide to receive help. So I was in Dallas. This whole thing, whatever the hell this is, just hit me all of a sudden. I was fine. Everything was great. Wednesday evening, just bam, came in and somebody pulled the rug out from under me. And we had plans to start recording the audio version of Lean in Love. And I had to flake. So I texted you and Adam and say, hey, y'all, I'm a flake on y'all. I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you followed up and was like, hey, well, where's your hotel? Where are you at? What do you need? Do you need anything? And I was in a fog, like in a NyQuil induced fog, and also not feeling well. And it, you hear the text and it's like 10 million miles away. Is it for real? Anyways, I looked at it. Normally, I would have said, no, I'm fine. But I was like, you know what? What's the problem, right? I said, yes, here's my address, Pedialyte, please. And you showed up with 2 things of Pedialyte. No, we're not sponsored by Pedialyte, not yet. And then I think you brought some other goodies, some Chick-fil-A, some tea, Smiles Warmth came in. We hung out for a little bit and you took off. And so that was very helpful because I needed the help, but I wouldn't ask for that help. When I got home, my plan was to get off the plane, go to my other house, turn off the water, drain out the water so it doesn't, freeze and bust the lines. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out, ask my little brother to go by and do that. So I texted him. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then my mom, they celebrated Christmas early because of the weather. They wanted to do it before the freeze hit. I didn't make it because I didn't want to get the babies, the raptors. I didn't want to get the raptors sick. So they ended up bringing me plates of food. Now this sounds like pretty normal, right? For me, it's not. For me, it's like, just leave me alone. I'm fine. I'll just leave me alone. But I didn't do that this time. So I think on one hand, there is some growth in terms of receiving help, which it's not easy for me. Does that answer your question, Jen?
It does. And so we'll kind of segue into some other conversation. So 1, thank you for sharing that. 2, if those out there are wondering why Jesse has shades on, he's not hungover. The lights bother him because he's not feeling well. So we have given him a pass to wear sunglasses this morning so that we can have him here. That was more important to have him here. So, okay. So that was a great response on, okay, you were not feeling good and you were in a not home. And so you kind of got outside your comfort zone, said, I need this. Someone showed up and gave you what you needed. Ask your brother to help you. So do you have a bounce off buddy, a group of people? Like, how do you decipher this is someone that I need to call to make a decision? This is someone I need to call because I need help. Like, how have you?
Yeah. So that for me, like this whole bounce off buddy idea is very different than accepting and receiving help, right? Like accepting help when I'm not feeling well. It's just different for me. In Jesse land, it's totally different. Because when I have ideas that I need to kick around, or I'm seeking guidance, or there's things that I don't understand, or I want to understand, when I need to challenge my assumptions, there are people in my life that are they specifically serve that purpose. They fill that role. Now, for me, I recognize them as my advisory council. Right? And these are the people that for specific reasons. The easiest example I can give is like my friend Mara, she's married to Louie, or Louie and Mara are married. I knew Louie first. I met Mara. Mara's amazing. And so Mara is on the advisory council because of her empathy and compassion for people. Like, you have no idea. She is on a whole other level. And she helps me, like when I'm stuck on something, I can reach out to Mara and have a conversation with her, and she'll give me a perspective that totally says, okay, like I need to be less robotic or whatever. And so I have different people on my advisory council, and the way I pick them is when they demonstrate the behavior and the thinking that I am seeking to acquire, I watch them. I'm always watching people. And so it's more than just, I look for more than just the outcomes, right? So outcomes are like an early indicator. Then there's their words, which are easy to fake, right? Then there's their actions. But ultimately, I want to see what their reactions are to things in real time. And when I can see heavy consistency in their reactions to things, to people, to circumstances, and it's still in alignment with the thinking that I'm looking for, then it's like, boom, that one, you're on my list and I'm going to come hit you up. So that's kind of how I go about or think about this bounce off buddies thing. And then when I got something that I need to work through, I just, again, we're bouncing ideas back and forth and thinking through that kind of stuff.
So what's the difference between a bounce off buddy or your advisory council and accomplices?
Oh my God. So, man, so like accomplices is what you and Adam do when y'all are picking on me, when y'all are bullying me up here, right? Or what you and Steve Martin are doing when y'all are like taking all the fun out of the fishnet hoodies. Like, that's accomplices right there. No, I'm joking. So that's a really important question. Accomplices are when I have a gripe. Let's say I have a gripe against you, and I go and piss and moan and whine to people that are going to agree with me that you're mean. And so all they're going to do is like stoke the fire about how mean you are, or whatever. I'm just
right. I am mean. It's okay.
but the problem with that is that's not a healthy. That doesn't drive any healthy outcomes. It helps me stay in my judgmental, comfortable place and say, poor me, and it's everybody else's fault. So leaning towards accomplices almost ensures that I'm going to stay in a victim state of mind. And so if I stay in victimhood, I have no power to do anything or to change the situation, because guess what? It's your fault. And now I have this army of people that agree with me that it's your fault. So I'm innocent. There's nothing I can do about it. You have all the power.
I like that. So again, I want to pose, I know we've posed this out to the group. I want to make sure if you have bounce off buddies or you have people that you go to for, some of the things that Jesse talked about, who are those people? What helps you determine those people? Like, please share that so we can bring some of those comments up.
All right. Let me get some comments up because we got some.
Yes.
Leslie says, she's like, yeah, -9 is cold in Chicago. They're warm. They're at like +9 up in New York City. Good morning, Leslie. Just so you know, there was like a ton of more Grinch content, but the editors up here, Jen and Steve Martin, have pumped the brakes on all that content. They're reviewing it and cycling through it. So it's not my fault. It's all up in this editing staff up here. So sorry, Leslie. I know they're robbing you of smiles, and it's not me, it's them. See, that's how you go about it.
That's an accomplice somewhere in there. I feel like there's some accomplishing going on.
And then we got the curious idealist. She's Merry Xmas Eve on the No BS Tribe. It's 2 degrees in Tennessee. Watch out, baby. How you doing, Miss Angel? Glad you're here. Aaron's letting, whoever knows how to do this math, they are at -23 Fahrenheit. Oof. And like the math is like hella cold. That's cold.
Yes.
But he is giving me kiwis. I need to get some kiwis. That's an old army trick. So
okay. Lots of vitamin C there.
Yeah. So anybody want to send me some kiwi, or you know what? Kiwi pie. Yes, I will receive all the kiwi pies. He says he's lucky to have acquired a group of bounce off buddies since coming on in May. The support and insight is monumental. And he goes on to say, true friends always carry your better interest at heart and are not afraid to give you the tough, constructive criticism. Ooh, all right. I think we can go on a nice little streak on that one. What do you think, Jen?
Yes, sure.
So, Jen, have I ever posed a difficult, challenging question to you?
You do a lot, but I think what I remember most, or the time that I was like, ooh, like it made me have to stop and think, is Adam and I were having a conversation. We do it twice a week, one early morning conversation. And you ask a question, or I was talking about something, and I kind of gave my response, and I was talking, and you called me out. Like, you called me out and said, okay, you say this, Jennifer, but you're doing this. And it was a moment to where, one, our conversations are all over the place. So there's not a lot of times where I have to stop and go, ooh, like this doesn't feel good. And it was a moment where I had to like reflect and go, well, crap, he's right. And it didn't feel good. I was uncomfortable, but you calling me out and kind of calling a spade and saying, hey, you're saying this, but you're doing this, made me have to self-reflect and then receive some feedback from both you and Adam, and then kind of assess it and change the way I was approaching whatever the dilemma was or whatever my response was. But like, I needed that, but it's easy to avoid that because we don't like to be uncomfortable a lot of times. And so we kind of get defensive, get mad, get angry. You don't know, you're not a part, you haven't experienced what I've experienced. And I run into that a lot, but it's because they don't have a lot of reps of being around people that genuinely care about what they're doing and their decisions they're making and there's outcomes that you talked about earlier. And when we're not in a place where we know the people around us care and have love and compassion for us, we're going to, put that armor on and try to protect ourselves, which means we project defensive and, trying to kind of turn it back around and push it back on them.
Yes, and yes. There's a lot there. So I'm going to bring up some comments to kind of shape, I guess, the direction we're headed.
Yeah.
So Mr. Justin says, love that point, Jesse. A good bounce-off buddy has the ability to give objective advice in a subjective situation. So what I want to add here, and there's people that know, that have known me for a long time, and Adam's also commented on this. You've commented on it. I'm just gonna say it. I give some pretty direct, maybe even painful feedback to people that I love, right? Like I've learned how to be more tactful about it. Usually, my brain is, Kirby knows. Usually, just so y'all know, if I ever say, hey, can I ask you a question? Or may I share an observation with you? That's usually like, it's coming, baby, because there's something that is incongruent between what you're saying and how you're behaving. And I feel, because I love and care about you, I'm going to let you know. Now, to Justin's point here is having the ability to give objective advice in a subjective situation. There is risk. And so there's something that we all need to be aware of. The risk is when I'm giving objective feedback or my objective observation about something, there is a real risk that I am going to offend you. And even more so, there's a real risk that I will lose the connection that we have. Because it is so, and I've heard it a bunch of times, it is extremely likely that this is the first time that you got this level of feedback. And that's where the risk comes. What do you think, Jen?
Well, 100%, but it's also where the love is. And so it's that place that if If you're looking for one or the other, you're going to get to pick and choose what you're receiving. If you're looking for one or the other. But if you are in a place where you know this person genuinely cares and wants you to be it wants you to succeed and wants you to grow, it's not just all of a sudden you're going to show up to somebody that you've made a connection with and you're going to go, well, heck yeah, that makes sense. It's not. It's going to be you're going to show up and you're going to go, they don't know me. They don't know. I mean, that's where we are when we haven't created those bonds and those connections. So I have another example that actually you did something that then fed a future conversation. So a month or so ago, bring Kirby up again. Kirby and I had an opportunity to co-facilitate a meeting, a group meeting, going after a project. And so it was awesome because it was kind of getting her outside of her comfort zone, but also she and I getting to work together, which was amazing. But you were also able to be in the room. And so we got done and we felt like it was a success. Everyone in the room felt like it went exactly the way we needed it to go, all the outcomes, things like that. And we got done and we were kind of doing a little debrief. And you were like, can I give you some observations? And I was like, of course you can. And you were like, there were these times that I feel you overpowered and you didn't give Kirby the opportunity, whatever the feedback was. My response could have been, I could have made excuses and I could have absolutely justified anything that happened in that room because it was a success. Everyone left the room saying it was a success, but that wouldn't have helped anything. That wouldn't have helped me to kind of step outside of the situation and grow and learn, but it also wouldn't have helped Kirby. And so I think having the conversation and being able to receive, I think that's huge. I think we talk about who's that person you call, who's that person that you reach out to, but we also need to talk about being able to receive and being in a place where I can receive what you're saying. I may not like it. It may hurt my feelings. And I may not, I may look like, dang it, I didn't do what I wanted to do. But that conversation then fed into a future meeting, another one that Kirby and I co-facilitated. And I was intentional on making sure that she was able to, do the part that she brought in to do. But it also made me super aware when I was doing things that you said I shouldn't do. So I was aware of it. I voiced that to Kirby ahead of time. And then after the meeting, she came up and said, hey, these times I felt like you stepped in when I could have done it. So again, growing from the first opportunity to the second opportunity, and it was not me getting defensive, me feeling like I was attacked, or me feeling like, okay, I didn't do what I was supposed to do because it was outside of me. And I think that experience for me was huge, not just because I received what you said, but it was also helping the people around me in the environment and the experience and what we were trying to do, but it was also helping Kirby grow. So.
Yes. Well, and I think the key point there is with this whole bounce off buddies idea is it's an intimate experience, right? And it's a reciprocal experience, like meaning you're inviting somebody in to be fiercely honest with you. I think DJ Hootie Hoots, I can't remember the name of the book, Courageous Conversations, or I'm sure he'll post the link. There's a book that he references, Radical Candor. That's the book. That's what we're looking for, right? And so when I'm reaching out and I'm designing my advisory council or my bounce off buddies, it is expected for you to hurt my feelers, right? Because I'm gonna be
even though Adam doesn't like that.
It's okay, because the intent is for growth. Mm-hmm. And it takes practice, it takes reps. But so it's not a light subject, like Jim says. It's completely different than the here, hold my beer guy, right? Because that here, hold my beer, that's fun and excitement, short-lived. We can turn around and laugh about it. That's very different than let me give you some let me share my observations of what I saw. Those are two different things, because it's a deep introspection that can feel like a judgment, but it's not a judgment. It's an assessment, or me mirroring back to you what I saw based on what you told me you wanted to accomplish.
Mhm.
Right? Like if I want to lose weight, which by the way, I weighed in at 194.8. So this sickness thing is it's perfect. It's what I needed right now. But if my goal is to lose weight, and you see me stuffing my face with pizza and nachos every day, I kind of expect you to say, "Hey, fat face, like I thought you're trying to lose weight." I mean, that's a simple example, but I guess the what's important there is to have these bounce off buddies. You also kind of need to let them know what your plans are, what your goals are, what it is you're working towards. I mean, I get this question a lot from people. They say, "Man, Jess, the way you ask questions, the way you give feedback is awesome, and I've seen you work with other people, and would you mind doing that with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, not at all. Like, that would be awesome. I'd love that." My question is, what are you working towards? What do you want to achieve? What are you trying to change? What are you trying to grow? And like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, I can't give you I can give you feedback, but it's going to be like buffet style feedback if I don't know what your intended outcomes are. If I know what your intended outcomes are, then my feedback is going to be better calibrated to help you get to where you're going. If I don't understand that, my feedback is going to be along the line of Jesse Land. And that's a little twisted. Like, not everybody's ready for that. Mr. Bradley says, "I've always called it pizza box." Isn't there a song, something in a box? Anyways, "I've always called it pizza box math. No one's trying to be right, but there's space for all the for all the ideas to come out. The trust level required for that is immense." Yes. But when you have the right person or people at the table, the victimhood syndrome turns into
Nudgement. I like the hashtag nudgement. That's freaking awesome.
Yes, nudgement, not nudgement. That
Oh,
is
that is
good.
awesome.
What do you think about that, Jennifer Lacey?
No, I love, thank you, Bradley, one, for sharing and coming back and being here with us today. But I love the concept of we have to be ready, because it's easy to reach out and go, "I need help. I need help. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me," because it's about me. It's about me. I need you to help me. I need you to help me. And as soon as, if we're not in the right place, one, to receive, and one, to really care about, and you and I talk about this, serving others, or what is it outside of ourselves that we're trying to get to? What is that goal? What are we trying to accomplish? If we're not there, but we want people to tell us because feed us. But let me tell you, when someone says that was freaking amazing, you are on cloud nine. You're like, yeah, I'm rocking and rolling. When someone says you said this and you did this, all of a sudden, the way you receive that and the way you get it, a lot of times is, I failed, or I'm not doing what I say I'm going to do. Those don't feel good. And so it's easy. It's so easy in those places to kind of find, yeah, but I did this. Yeah, but I hear it's like that. And I hate to say it, is we get that a lot. We hear that a lot. And I don't think it's people that don't agree with you, but in this world, it's like the world of justification. Like everywhere we go, well, yeah, but I wasn't feeling good. Well, yeah, but I didn't have all the resources. Yeah, but they told me this person and I got this person. Yeah, but I didn't have enough time to plan. Like, it's so easy to justify the things that didn't go the way that we want them to, intended them to do, or someone expected us to do. And when we live in that victimhood, which is what Bradley said, that victimhood mentality, like, how are we going to get better? How are we going to grow?
You just end up with a long ass list of oppressors. That's easy. Like, that's so damn easy. So here's a question, Jen.
Yes.
How do you go about, or what are the criteria you use to fire bounce off buddies?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me think, because let me think people that I have. I think the biggest for me is one, if they're in that, if I've let them in that space, obviously they've met some criteria on, conversations, care, compassion, empathy, things that I sometimes lack. So I look for that in those other people. I think for me, the biggest piece that I've had to kind of eliminate people is that it's not reciprocal. So there's people that I see, oh, okay, that they're gonna help me. And so we bring them in and we have some conversations, and then I can see the moment where it doesn't go both ways. And so they're in a place where they can have radical candor, they can be honest, they can, give me the things that I feel I can receive and I can grow, but they're not in that place. And for someone that doesn't, I don't have a very good filter. Good sometimes, not good sometimes, but I don't have a very good filter. And when I can see that it's not reciprocal and that we hit a lot of walls and roadblocks when I'm trying to help them, then I realize they're not in that place. They're not in a receiving place. And it's not, I don't judge them as much as they're not going to help me. When they're in a place where I can give you, but I can't receive. For me, it's hard because I can receive, but I'm not just going to go, okay, great, Jesse, thanks. Peace out. I'll see you later. I'm going to go do what you say. Like, we need to have a conversation. I need to ask you questions. You need to ask me more questions. We need to really get to the root of what's the issue, what's the problem, and how can I get better? And so that's just my normal way of communicating, my way of engaging with people. And when it comes to me and then I start pushing back, and it's like I can see their guard goes up and their protection and their defense and their armor and all that. I'm just like, this isn't going to help me because I'm trying to dig and get more information. So for me, if it's not reciprocal, I really struggle in that environment. What about you?
Two things. It's the reciprocal part. Like, I guess I got to be a little extra careful because like your mom said, I get super vulnerable right out of the gate all the time. And so for me to expect people to play at that level all the time is an unrealistic expectation. But so I got to kind of gauge that. Like, people need to build that, those calluses, right? They got to build that. But for me, the primary thing is if they're not progressing on anything that we've talked about, like, and I don't mean like leaps and bounds. I mean, if we've had a conversation and you said, okay, I want to work on this, like, oh, we have a conversation. There's usually, I mean, I don't focus on any more than two big rocks. I mean, there's a million things that we could, like, the person that they could do, but two big rocks, and we have another conversation and nothing was done. I'm about, like, this is your first verbal warning, written warning, suspension, termination. Like, it's happening right now. Call me when you take action. And if you don't take action, like, I got stuff to do. Like, if you need, because this may not be nice, but this is the way I interpret it. You want an accomplice. You want somebody to sit here and listen to you whine and make excuses and complain and tell you you're just in your complaining and whining. I'm not that person. Look at that. No second first warnings, like the first, second book. Like, I'm not that guy. And I've had this discussion many times. I have deep empathy. I have zero sympathy. Right? If you need sympathy, call your mom. Don't call me. Like, I'm not the right person for that. And if we're going to work together or support, I'd rather support each other, and you're going to complain and not take action, you can do that. Just don't use my time to do that. Right? If you want to complain about the same thing, send me an email with your complaints. Right? Or leave a voicemail with your complaints. Don't lock down my time. Don't lock in my time if you're not intending to take action. And it's probably coming across pretty harsh, but that is my automatic. If you ain't taking action, move on, because I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy. Now,
we've talked about that, right? The space between idea to action is what sets this group, I think, apart from a lot of other people in the world. And we know not everything goes according to plan, and if there is a plan and all that. So it's not, you said you were going to do this, you didn't do it, you're out, you're off the island. Like, we understand that's not how the world works, but we also know that there's always an opportunity. Are you moving towards something, or are you standing still, or are you moving in a whole different direction?
Yes. Progress is what I'm not. And I learned this in 12-step, right? Progress over perfection. An inch is progress. Half an inch is progress. A change in direction is progress. But if you're sitting still, backsliding, whining, like, negative, not acceptable. And if you love Grinch content, that counts as progress. 100%, Leslie. Thank you, Leslie.
I'm giving you love, Jesse. You've killed the Grinch stuff. Like, it's been next level. So
did you like that live action video? Like the cinematography? Oh my God. That guy's got skills. Oh, sorry. Okay. Cindy Becerra says, a bounce off buddy can hear where you are, show you your blind spots. Steve Martin and Jesse have been great at pointing out things for me and appreciate your feedback. Likewise, Cindy. And Cindy ain't playing. Like, she's taking action. We had a couple calls and she ain't messing around. Like, she's making things happen. But it's not like lightning speed, right? And so maybe I need to address that. Mm-hmm. When I'm being like real critical about people not taking or not having progress, I'm not talking about monumental accolades and outcomes and accomplishments. I'm talking about thinking. What is the progress in your thinking? What is the progress in the small micro decisions you got to make that get you from 0 to 1? That's a big, gigantic deal. I know how big it is. But if you're still on 0, justifying staying on 0, justifying why you oh, fine, then go be 0. I'm here to get you from 0 to 1. And if we can talk those little small incremental steps of 0 to 1, I got you. But if you want to stay on 0 and you want to complain and worry, then go on. Like, be yourself. I ain't going to be dealing with that kind of stuff.
Well, you said something that made me, and again, Cindy said it, Steve Martin said it, Adam said it. We say it a lot in our conversations. The trust we have for the other person, we whether we say it out loud, the trust we have for the other person and what they are saying to us. And I think that has a lot to do with the action that follows. Is if I'm just throwing things out there, but I don't trust that you care about me, that you're going to give me good feedback, that I don't if I don't trust what you're saying, then it's just, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not anything that I'm going to do anything with. And so, and I'm not saying blind trust, because obviously a lot of these relationships have formed and have built and, are continually being built, virtually and in person. But if I don't trust the people that I reach out to, that they're looking at it and have my best interest at heart, then there's not going to be action. We're finding accomplices. We're finding hold my beers. We're finding these people that are going to help us feel better, maybe for a moment. But if we can't trust that person is giving us advice that sometimes we don't like, sometimes is uncomfortable, sometimes we're like, I think Felipe did this in his podcast. Shout out to Felipe. Amazing that he just recently sent out, released the EBFC show podcast with Jesse and I talking about the book. But in there, we talk about, I think the question was, I don't remember the question, but it was, would I follow you over the hill? Would I follow you? Would I follow you over the hill having no idea what's on the other side? And that was the conversation on the podcast. And like, without a question, I would. And it's not because, okay, whatever, if I die, I die. Like, that's not the mentality when I'm dealing with you, but it's, I trust you. I trust that you're not going to put me in imminent danger, that you're not going to, have me do something that goes against my morals, my ethics, something that could make me, make me not be in a good place. But that trust is big. And we can talk about all this other stuff, but if you can't trust the people that you've surrounded yourself with, then you really need to stop and reflect why.
Who you picking? Because you're doing the picking. Oh, Noah, my buddy Noah Hermes. What's up, Noah? He says, I just had the same scenario on Thursday and he had to get into Jesse mode. What? Poor Noah.
Love it.
Noah suffered through some of my stuff. What up, Noah? Cindy says, yes, bounce off buddies give a level of accountability to move forward, to take action. And that's it, right? Is taking little baby steps of action. And that kind of gets us through the apprehension, the nervousness, the fear. Thank you, Cindy, for that. Curious Idealist, Miss Angel says, I think a good reason to fire a bounce off buddy is if they are bringing toxicity into the relationship and aren't willing to address it or have an open dialogue about it. What do you think about that, Jen?
Well, absolutely. I mean, and we've talked about that. I mean, you said it, I've said it on whether it's this show or others, is who are those people we surround ourselves with? Are they helping us move forward towards the things that our goals and where we want to be? Or are they distracting us? Are they derailing us? Are they helping justify some of those inactions? And I think it's hard because we live in a world where it's just, you follow the flow, you follow the crowd, you go, whether you don't like the light on you, you don't like the attention on you, or it's just what everyone else is doing. And we live in this space, this lean space that, I mean, the worst thing we can hear is, well, that's how we've always done it. And that's just kind of the space that we live in, is that we know there's got to be a better way, but it also can put a light on you and can have people looking at you and really questioning what you're doing. So that's not comfortable for everybody. Like, you're having to defend kind of where, what you think is right. And there's some people that are just not in a place where they want to do that. So they'll just go with the flow and they'll just kind of keep that light away from them. And just, I'm just going to keep doing what everyone else is expecting. And that's okay, because there's people out there like that, but I don't feel it helps people grow. And you and I talk about learning and growing and what is that next thing all the time. Those are just not spaces that people can grow if they're not getting uncomfortable, if they're not really thinking about, okay, this is what I've been doing, or this is the direction that everyone else is expecting, but this is what I need to do. And I think that, you can see that, you can watch a scenario and you can see, Jesse, you live it, and in your business, where people bring you in because they want to do something different.
Yes. And again, it's I think of lots of practice is my fundamental, I think the important value that I bring is sharing my observations. And because, they're never good. Like, there's maybe 3 layers: ugly truths, aha moments, and maybe some coincidental happy times, happy highlight. But most of it is the ugly truths. Mm-hmm. And I'm surfacing this. And I got to say, hey, here's what I found. And there's risk, right? Because people say, man, get out of here. All you're doing is, cleaning out under the bed.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where the good stuff is, man. That's where we're going to make things better. But again, so we've talked about, like, receiving. If we're going to be a bounce off buddy or have bounce off buddies, we got to receive the feedback, receive those observations, and use them, put them into practice, take them into action. The other part is you gotta be fierce in your sharing of those dang observations. You don't want to put so many pillows around the observation that it becomes fluff, right? Like, I'm pretty dense. if you want me to order pizza, you need to tell me order pizza. Would you agree, Dan?
Well, no, and you're really good. Like what you just said is so much truth. And if you don't know Jesse, like I'm not intentionally vague. Like that's not my intention ever. But sometimes because of how my thoughts work, like I'm just speaking as things are bouncing around in my head. And Jesse is the king. Okay, so Jennifer, this is what I heard. Or Jennifer, like, what are you asking? Or okay, what does that mean? And then I have to like literally sort through what just came out of my mouth and go, oh, well, this is what I'm trying to convey, or this is what I'm asking. But he's so good at, okay, this is what I heard. And I'm like, well, no, that's not what I said. So he's very good at like being that mirror back to me, because I say things without sorting them out in my head. And you can't always do that with all the people in your life, because they, one, may look at you crazy, and two, start picking and choosing the things that they feel are important or the things that they want to help you with. And so you really need to make sure you have those people around you that can ask those reflective questions back to you.
Yes. And I'll say this, y'all, like Jen is not the only person that has that, we'll say, ability to say something without ever saying it. Actually, most leaders that I've worked with have that same gift of never saying what the hell they want. They say a whole lot of words with business jargon and KPIs, but like they'll call problems opportunities. Can we just call it what it is, right? Like we speak in this secret code and then don't understand why the people executing the work aren't doing what you asked, because you never made an ask.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I just want to point that out. Like, Jen, it's not just you. And I know, because the downside of it is I feel my gaps of understanding with my assumptions. And you nailed it. I pick and choose. And then when they come back and they're upset, like, well, this is that's not what I said. Okay, well, this is what I heard. Right? What did you say? Like 8 minutes of stuff, but this is all I got out of it, And so we all have opportunity, we all need to work on being more concise and explicit in our communication. Mm-hmm. And because I'm like naturally dense, when it gets too fuzzy, too like, whoa, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna ask. I'm just gonna ask the question, because it helps me, and I think it helps everybody else. Pete with Zep's Gear says, you have to build trust to be followed over the hill by action.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And I say it's the trust part of it. And it doesn't have to be that like you're going to give them your bank account number and you're going to give them your PIN code and you're going to like loan them $50,000. Like let's be real here. Trust is about that back and forth connection, that I trust you're going to protect me. You're going to, not take me into danger, but you're also going to help get me right on the edge. I think Adam said it, right on the edge of like where I'm scared, but I also know you're there to help me. And like that, having that relationship with people doesn't mean that we've shared years and years and years of experiences. Sometimes it does, but it also has to do with those people that have shown up when I've struggled, or have shown up when I am like scared. Like, who are those people? And that's for me how I have created my advisory council, on just the trust piece of that. And I have to give a shout out to Buddy. Hopefully he's out there listening. But like, my dad's been gone for 20 years. And, I'm, oldest sister, 3 brothers, and our dad, single father. And Buddy, I know you know it, but I have to say it. Like right now, it was in the middle yesterday of dealing with some house issues that like, I didn't know who to call. Buddy's that person. And he's the dad that when you call, because you need advice or you need something, like he's that person for me. And it's like without a question, and he picks up and he helps me, and he gives me sometimes that, well, this is what we need to do. And so one, I want to thank you, Buddy, for that. But two, it's not just one person. Like you and Adam fill a void that helped me a lot with business, with what's next actions. But it's an advisory council. It's those people around you that fill different voids. So don't feel like it's that person or it's this person, but who are those people around you that for this is who I need to call. For this is who I need to lean on. For this is who I need to ask. Like it is a group of people. We call it a tribe around us. Who are those people that you'd still run over the hill for? But that doesn't mean I'm going to call Jesse for everything, or I'm going to call Adam for everything. And buddy, you are that person. And so again, my dad would be looking down smiling right now. So I just want to thank you for being, that dad that right now I don't have.
That's amazing. Well, and so here's another why in the hell would anybody want to have a bounce off buddy or an advisory council? Here's why I need it. And this may resonate with you out there. The reason I have bounce off buddies or my advisory council is because I have ideas in my head that if I don't put them through the rock tumbler, they suck bad. They suck real bad. I never take action on them. I never get moving on them. They just stay in my head forever. Having my advisory council or my bounce off buddies, I get to release those ideas out. I get to put them in there, get some kickback on them, get some, whatever opinions, ideas, and refine them before I actually release them, which depending on who you are, for me, they're like super polished. For Adam and Jen, they're like still crumbly, rocky, sandy, and papery rough. But, that's a relative thing. So that's my answer as to why I value the bounce off buddies and the advisory councils, because I have ideas and they help me go from idea to action. 100%. That's what this group of individuals helps me do, is go from idea to action every single time. Every once in a while, it's like idea to kill that idea. Rarely does that happen, but that does happen sometimes.
But it's the accountability. I think for me, it's the reason I have bounce off buddies and I have people that I need. I'm just going to say I need, and I'm not one to say that. Like I need people around me for the accountability, because in my world, it's been me, and I've held myself accountable, and I've pushed myself to where I needed to go, and I've realized, that I don't have all the answers and I don't know everything. And so the accountability piece for me is huge, because it's that, hey, is that following what you're saying? Hey, is that the right decision? Hey, have you thought about this? And I don't have all those things in my head. I can just have this idea and then see, okay, again, the accountability piece is huge, to have other people that can help you, hold you accountable, but also help you get to where you want to go.
Yes. And so we've got 2 minutes and 4 seconds before we get commandeered. And I just want to address, so I want to say, well, y'all are probably reading all the comments. I'm trying to sift through them. Thank goodness for Adam, because he's doing a phenomenal job. But like Justin, Angel, Aaron, Leslie, Bruce, Brad, like they're bringing the A game in the comments. So I'm going to go back and read these.
Yes.
But Leslie says problems and conflicts are opportunities. What's wrong with that? Jesse Hernandez. Thank you for the question. So here's my issue with that. When I was a plumbing foreman and an installer, there were people, the fancy boots, that would say, we don't have problems, we have opportunities. It's like, oh, okay, I don't understand what that means. And then when they were really upset about something, some kind of performance issue out on the job site, then they weren't opportunities, they were problems. So there's this mixed messaging that confused me, because I thought all we had was opportunities. We don't have problems. And so for me in Jesse land, I like to treat problems as a neutral thing, right? Problems to be celebrated, because now they will trigger problem solving and development of people's capabilities. That's for me. That's the conflict I have with it. I'm not saying it's wrong. That's just where I choose to function and celebrating problems rather than calling them opportunities. And then when I really get emotionally impacted by a problem, treating it like a problem, it's a mixed message. That's from my world, Miss Leslie. And thank you for the question.
Nope.
And I'm going to be super snaky and like just bounce out and say, all right, like whoever's going to take this bad boy over, you need to take it over.
So we interrupt this regularly scheduled program here, Jess, to bring the No BS Tribe's Christmas gift for y'all. What do you think, Steve Martin? Uh-oh. No, you can't go anywhere, Jess. Don't think you got power. Steve, we can't hear you there, bud.
Yeah, sorry. I
There you
thought this no BS marketing part was stressful. I tell you what, the no BS backstage crew here, it is like next level. You would not believe what's been going on for like the past hour.
It's been a struggle for sure, which is why the comments haven't been too helpful. But yes. What do you think, Mr. Steve? We ready to let it rip?
I think we are here. So just a really quick intro, whatever. So this started about 2 weeks ago. For the record, for the record, the No BS marketing team thought they had Christmas Eve off, and so all of a sudden we hear from Jennifer Lacey, "We're doing a live stream Christmas Eve. Let's and all that." So scrap everything. We had it was on the No BS calendar. So anyway, hashtag Let It Fly. We got to do something. So first thing we start, No BS budget. What do we got? I go up to No BS corporate. Literally, they throw in my face. They said, "Budget? Are you kidding me? You got No BS bling. You got No BS book signings. Those in Hawaii." So anyway, it got ugly really quick. And so I said, well, we need something. No BS corporate slides over a requisition in front of me for No BS Grinch hoodies, and I knew I had nothing. So anyway, hashtag Let It Fly. We know 'tis the season. It's better to give than to receive. And so marketing got together, the whole staff, and said, keep it simple, keep it No BS Tribe. So where we landed real quick, Jen and Jess, you both show up. Full vulnerability, full authenticity, consistently, you both. So we knew the focus needed to be on Jen and Jess, you both. And because you both do that, you allow the No BS Tribe and beyond to receive what you both have to share. And so it has been a ride, literally over a little, I was reflecting on this whole thing about a year. Because of that, we do it together. Hashtag we are better together. Because you both do that and allow us all to receive, the reflection we all know has just been next level amazing. So obviously SRRR, the last R, No BS marketing got together and said, how can we reciprocate? And then the No BS magic just happened. Call went out and said, time to reciprocate. And the end result, I believe, DJ Hootie Hoots is ready to present the gift.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Jen and Jess, what's up? It's DJ Hootie Hoo coming from behind the scenes this time, in front of the camera, just to remind you of what you started. This was all Steve Martin's idea, so all credit there. I'm going to kick it off and let Mr. Steve Martin close it. What a year it's been. I think all of us, when Steve kicked this idea out, I got so many responses, and it's because of y'all. It's because of the community that you have developed, that you have molded and crafted. And it's exactly what we need. It's exactly what the construction industry needs. It's exactly what more industry needs, is an environment where we can actually be people and we can rely on one another, we can count on one another, and we know that we're gonna have each other's back. And so I thank you two for doing that for me at a minimum of twice a week. You guys show up like nobody else does, and for that I am so grateful. It makes me so much better. It gets me so uncomfortable that I hate it, but I love it. Especially when Jen's upright and walking. It is dangerous. So anyway, much love. I'm a different person because of you two. You started off as a goal of affecting one person, and let this video be proof that 1 year later, you've affected more than one person. And so I encourage you to keep going. Don't stop. Love what you're doing. Love being a part of it. Thank you for everything from the bottom of my heart. Crosses out, baby.
Good morning. This is a shout out to Jess and Jen and the rest of the No BS Tribe members. Just wanted to share a couple thoughts. What you guys are doing is really a movement. It's in its beginnings for sure, but it's so needed. I have been on the same path the majority of my life. I am a Trekkie. I literally fell in love with Star Trek when I was 10 and did not for the life of me understand why everyone just couldn't get along and work together. All colors, all races, all shapes, all sizes. And I have attempted to live my life that way, just accepting people for who they are and trying to be helpful whenever possible. It has not been an easy road, as I'm sure most of you know. But perhaps its time has come. They say that there's no stopping an idea whose time has come. And just want to support this movement. I want to support Jess. I want to support Jen. I want to do whatever I can in my power to make this literally go viral. So happy holidays, and let's just keep on trucking, guys.
So I think there's a couple things that come to mind for me when it comes to thinking about what impact being a part of this No BS tribe has had to help me be better. And I think the first thing for me is just being aware of how I show up every day, being intentional with showing up and realizing that how I show up has a direct impact on those around me. Just being aware of that, and this group helps me do that on a normal basis. So whether these live streams every other week and having the chats, even depending on whatever the topic is, I feel like it's almost having an accountability buddy to make sure that when you show up, you're doing so in a manner that you're aware, you're being vulnerable, and you're being open as much as you can be. And I think on a personal level, it's something that I've tried to get better with, and I think being in this group and just having these discussions really helps me along those lines. The second thing I would bring up is we're having conversations on topics that generally we don't talk about at all within our industry. They're hard topics, for sure. They're not anything that I think anyone can talk about lightly sometimes, but I also think they're very important. And this tribe and this group has really just created a safe space to bring people together to talk about that. Because I think there's this understanding between all of us that we need to have the conversation. We need to get out there. We need to express what we're feeling about it. But we don't generally do that. We don't have those spaces normally to do this. And Jen, Jess, you guys have created this space for us to be able to gather people with common ideas and common minds and thoughts and be able to just express what we're feeling, be a little open, be a little vulnerable. And like I said, in an industry that we don't normally get that chance to do it. And really just simply lets us be a little bit more human and understand that about each other. And then lastly, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't, Jen and Jess, just give you guys a huge thank you for being the ones to start this conversation about all of this, to create this space for us to share, to create this space to be open and vulnerable, but then also leading by example in how you guys show up every single time. You guys talk about topics that are not easy and really just lead by example for how we should all be showing up every day to be able to be better people, to be able to own the impact that we have on others, and really just try and make things better day by day, even if it's a little bit. So thank you very much just for doing this and creating the space that you have. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this group has moving forward in 2023.
We made it to the end of the year, and I just wanted to send a warm and sincere thank you to Jesse Hernandez and Jennifer Lacey for making 2022 one of the best years of my life, both personally and professionally. And a lot of it's in here. First of all, there are people that are featured in this book that I now consider my friend. And for all those people, for reaching out, for communicating, and for sharing, I'm very appreciative of that. And just want to say thank you, that this content and this tribe means a lot to me, because it gives us a stage, it gives us a microphone, and it gives us a community where anyone is welcome, provided you don't bring out BS. You can't buy your way in, you can't sponsor your way in. The only way you can contribute is actually contributing. So thank you for that. And really, one thing that made a lot of difference in my life this year was Jennifer Lacey telling me that people matter, and they do. We have to give people a voice, we have to give people dignity, and we have to see them. So thank you for creating that stage. Thank you for amplifying us, and thank you for just doing this extracurricular activity, because even this extra work, it's so meaningful and it's super reinforcing, and I want to help just as much as anybody else, but I needed that catalyst, and that catalyst, Jesse Hernandez, Jennifer Lacey. So thank you very much. Thank you, Adam, for putting this all together, and have a happy holiday. This is Thomas LeMay, and I'm out. See ya.
So there's no better way to start a Saturday morning than with a hot coffee and a Jennifer Lacey smile. So first off, thank you guys for starting this. And the one discussion that really hit home for me was about rest and recovery. So we get so caught up in working ourselves to death that we don't take care of ourselves. And it's people like you that bring that to the forefront. Jennifer, Jesse, Adam, just want to say thanks for starting this. And you guys rock.
This message is for Jen and Jesse of the No BS Tribe. You guys are amazing. Your positivity, your message, what you do for the community. I'm very glad that I discovered what you both were doing this year and got to know you both a bit. And I'm looking forward to the exciting stuff you have in store for 2023 and whatever I can do to contribute to that. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Jen and Jesse. I don't really know where to start, but I'm going to get started. I wanted to take a few minutes to wish you and Jen and Jesse a great end of the year and start of the second year of the No BS Tribe podcast. Everything you two have done to bring us all together has really been magical and makes me smile. Trying to catch you on updates before the bi-weekly meeting. I'm constantly checking my phone, trying to make sure I don't miss out. As I've said on this occasions, the sharing of inside and outside the fence personal and business relations hasn't existed before now. And what y'all have done to bring us all together, hard to explain. We have friends that we never would have been able to have had you not taken your time to invest in bringing us all together. And so for that, I just can't say enough of how great this thing is. I try to keep from forgetting things, but mostly I love you both more than you know. And I love our community, and all the people in our community are just good people. We don't care that we work for different companies. We don't have to worry about getting vulnerable sometimes, and I've never heard of that before, and I'm pretty old, so this is something that will outlive some of us, but I appreciate the effort that y'all put into this to keep it going. No, it's a big commitment, and so I think that's why a lot of us keep coming back, because it's free therapy sessions. We might be able to say something to help somebody else, and somebody else might be able to give us some ideas on how to get past a obstacle that we're going through. Just to say good luck. Let's start the second year off strong after this meeting to get us through the end of the year. And I'm going to be right there every step of the way. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and look out year number 2. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leslie Neidick. I recently joined the No BS tribe. I appreciate getting to know many of you during the Saturday morning live streams. Thank you to Jen and Jess for all that you do to bring together a group of incredible people. Happy holidays.
And Jess, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Just wanted to say I'm grateful to be a part of this No BS tribe and the connections that I've made this past year. I look forward to 2023 with the No BS tribe. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hey Jen and Jess and No BS family, it's your No BS Chief Marketeer. Almost exactly a year ago, I officially became the 40th No BS tribe member on LinkedIn. A month later, Jen and Jess, I sent you both a direct message on LinkedIn, and I wanted to read word for word part of what that message said. I know a good thing when I see it, and our No BS tribe is special. So my main question, is the plan to keep No BS with Jen and Jess within the construction industry, or is there potential to expand beyond? Since then, 770 more people have joined the No BS tribe. Hashtag let it fly. What a ride. I can't believe it. It's been so fun. And so I just wanted to congratulate you both on that. I know you've had a very successful year, been really encouraged to hear both of you reflect a little bit on this past year for you both and just everything that's happened. But I just wanted to say congratulations. I love how you both show up consistently and give the No BS family, the No BS tribe, opportunity to receive what you both have to share. Absolutely love the reflection that happens because of that. And I just want you both to know, for me personally, it's been great to have the opportunity to reciprocate a little bit as the Chief Marketeer and just as a No BS tribe member. It's been rewarding for me this year. So congratulations. It's been great to listen to everybody else reciprocate, and that's what we wanted to do at this time. So enjoy this. I want to end it with how I ended that direct message. And I said this: you both are blessed and a blessing to me. Thank you. Hashtag destiny. Fist bump, green heart, rock on.
Wow. That's like total cheating. All I'm going to say is thank you. Like, everybody cheated because I know that didn't just happen with minimal effort. There was a lot of communication, a lot of pre-planning. So you are forgiven for sneaking around behind my back. No, really, thank you all. That's amazing. That's amazing. Jen?
Thank you. Those videos just summed up so much of what this year has been, and I know that we don't even know what's next, but each and every one of you showing up and being there and letting us see and be a part of the impact that's happening, it's not anything we could have planned. And it Justin and I here, but it's all of us that show up that make this be what it is. And so those ripples of impact and the depth that we're able to do all of this, it's not just Jesse and I we just create the platform, but it's not just Jesse and I, it's all of us.
But you two are definitely leading this charge, and we are forever grateful. You've provided a platform that nobody else saw. We all complained that we need it, and nobody's done anything about it. And so here we are, year 2. I'm excited. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Jess, you'll never know what your questions do to me. And Miss Jen, your attacks are so very much needed. So thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know that words really have words couldn't do what I feel right now. So thank you.
And the video just came out and it's already outdated. I lied in my part. I said 770. It's now 772. And growing.
And growing. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Well, with that, we will not have an after party today because people need to go and be with their families and be vulnerable at home. Demonstrate care and appreciation for your loved ones. Aaron, thank you. Thank you all. And like Jen said, I mean, the goal was to help one person. And that little video it kind of sums it all up and makes the sacrifice, the vision, the idea, the vulnerability, it just makes it all worthwhile and makes me feel like I'm doing a good thing. And it's been a long time coming. So thank you all. Love y'all.
Give me a hug. We'll talk at you next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all.